This is college football on ABC Sports.
Doak Campbell Stadium on a glorious day in Tallahassee, and the biggest game in the Atlantic Coast Conference of the season is at hand. Number 12 Maryland, one of the undefeated teams left in the country, to take on the Florida State Seminoles, who have never lost a conference game at home. Before we kick it off, let's join our public address announcer at Doak Campbell, Dave Westbury.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of colors by the FSU Joint Army and Air Force ROTC Color Guard. And join in singing as Dr. James Croft conducts the Marching Chiefs in our national anthem.
House, the perennial champs at home, the new kids on the block trying to challenge Maryland. Florida State will kick it off when we come back.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. Available with the new Duramax diesel. The most powerful diesel you can get in a pickup. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Choose road. Validating tires.
BF Goodrich tires with traction advantage.
Approved.
For control you can feel, no matter what road you choose. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
ABC Halloween Wednesday at 8/7 Central. Aben receives a frightening visit from guest star Lou Rawls. A scary new My Wife and Kids. And at 8:30, 7:30 Central. Ooh. A new hit family comedy. According to Jim, is terrifying. Ah, hey, come on, kid, I said terrifying. According to Jim, is so funny.
It's spooky.
It all starts at 8/7 Central. ABC Halloween Wednesday.
If you waste one more second of our time, I'm gonna be out of a job and you're gonna be out about 18.
In the 15th precinct.
We got 4 people killed. Well, I didn't have anything to do with it.
In the city of New York.
There's a good chance that was my partner.
So much is happening.
Don't you ever come near my family again.
It had to be a 2-hour premiere event.
Drop the gun! Watch it, kid!
A new season of NYPD Blue begins Tuesday, November 6th at 9/8 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
In the ACC, suddenly the focus is on surprising Maryland. Ralph Regent has his Terps pointing toward the top and undefeated. A defense designed to confuse and collide, combined with an offense with all the tricks and treats of Halloween week. That, combined with finding ways to win, has helped the Terrapins shed their shell of losing. Perennial champ Florida State's already dropped its air of invincibility, as well as 2 games, and today 2 young guns are set to fire in Tallahassee. Here come the Seminoles, who have never lost a conference game at home. They don't intend to today either, you can bet. A packed house at Doak Campbell Stadium for the matchup between Florida State and the Terrapins of Maryland. As we said, it's the surprising Maryland Terrapins. Perfect in conference play. One of the few undefeated teams left in the country. North Carolina and Georgia Tech have a date on ESPN on Thursday night. Clemson has won today. Florida State, with that 3-1 mark in conference play, still very much in the thick of things. But it's the fridge, Ralph Regin, who's got his Maryland Terrapins all fired up and undefeated at 7-0. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. My partner's Bob Greasy. When we looked at this one at the beginning of the season on the schedule, I don't think it looked like the biggest game in the ACC. And Bob, I don't know if it's attitude, if it's confidence, whatever it is, the Terrapins kind of have a Frigian size amount of it, don't they?
I think it's 2 words, Ralph Frigian. He took a losing program the last 5 years, and with the same players, turned it around into a winning program this year. This team was picked 7th in the ACC this year. Florida State has won this conference 9 straight years, and to turn this program around and to authenticate it, he has to beat Florida State here today.
And Bobby Bowden's team knows he's in for a dogfight. We've been coming down here a long time. Very seldom have we ever come down here when they've got 2 losses, and this is an unfamiliar spot for him.
Well, he still feels like, it's been an off year, obviously, but he still feels like if they win their last games, they can win the conference and get a share of the title and be ranked high enough to represent the conference in the BCS bowl game.
All right. Well, one of the problems they've had, I guess, is at quarterback. Normally they've got a guy that's got a lot of veteran experience. And Swanee, that's not the case. We might see 2 of them today.
That's definitely not the case when it comes to experience. The quarterback halfway into the season for Florida State is on very shaky ground. They're going to start with Chris Ricks. He is a redshirt freshman, but his main problem has been turning the ball over through interceptions and loosely carrying the ball, causing fumbles. If they replace him, they have to go to a true freshman, and he is Adrian McPherson. They would go with him because they feel he has some natural abilities. But as Bob Greasy will say, and I'll defer to experience of a great quarterback, that you can't really compare what McPherson has done when he's come in relief of Ricks, because he's come in situations where there's absolutely no pressure. Would they replace Ricks? Absolutely, if he throws 2 or 3 quick interceptions early in this ball game. But we'll have to wait and see just how he sustains the pressure this afternoon, Brad.
All right, we've seen him suffer under that pressure when we were here a couple of weeks ago against Miami. He had an awful game, and he knows it. And last week, McPherson did do a nice job in relief. Renegade coming out. We already had a little bit of a confrontation before the teams even went to the locker room earlier, as everybody was kind of bumping chests out there. So Maryland definitely is a different team under that man, and they have a new attitude. 12th meeting, but they've never beaten them. And the average margin of victory, 34 points. In fact, they've never been any closer than 14, and they've never scored more than 21.
Yeah, Ralph said, anybody that is afraid or is intimidated by going down there, I don't want you on the bus.
He said, we're on a mission, and if you don't want to go with that mission, stay home. Maryland won the toss, and that means Florida State is 0-7 on coin tosses this year. Bobby says, dadgummit, we can't win anything. And there's Bobby Bowden, now tied for 3rd all-time in victories. 1 more, and he'll move past Glenn Pop Warner. And Crofonzo Thorpe, the freshman, will drop back deep, as Florida State will get the football first. A surprising 7-0 Maryland team, ranked 12th in the country, their highest since 1985. Vidad Silkovic has got it teed up and set to kick away. Thorpe and P.K. Sam, a couple of true freshmen, are the guys that wait on the other end. Pretty windy out here today, but crystal clear, a perfect football day, the final weekend of October, and we're underway. And it'll be Thorpe from the 3. Out across the 25, and gets out near the 29-yard line before he's run down. Jamal Cochran made the stop on special teams. Chris Ricks, the guy that Lynn Swan talked about. There he is, a redshirt freshman. And there's the numbers he's put up so far this year.
6 starts, 4-2 in those 6 ball games. And his big bugaboo has been the turnovers.
For the Seminoles, number 16, Chris Ricks.
So Ricks brings him out to a first down at the 29-yard line. 2 tight ends set for Florida State to open things. Play action. Ricks comes up throwing, and that's the way to start. First down on the first toss. Pick up a 13 out to Atruz Bell. Here's the big fellas up front. Williams is the best of the pack there, the lineman of the week in the ACC. Brown, Marambo, Holland, and Todd Williams. The backs and receivers, Maddox to start. We'll see a lot of Greg Jones. Maters the fullback. Walker and Bell, who just caught that one. Carver Donaldson is the tight end.
And really the strength of that offense is that offensive line and the running game the last couple of weeks.
Led by Maddox and Jones. You saw Maddox, the tailback. Ricks comes out. Another first down throw. Got it out to his tight end. Maryland defensively, they really get after you, and they do it in a kind of a different way. Roundtree, Hill, and Feldheim are up front. A rangy group of linebackers, and those where most of the pressure comes from, quite frankly. Whaley, Henderson, Joe, and Thompson. And the secondary, they've been opportunistic too. Wilson starting today. Jackson, Jones, and Cox. And there's the guy that's one of the best, not only in the ACC, but the country, E.J. Henderson. And here's Florida State's first run of the day. And they get it out near midfield. Pickup of almost 5. And it's going to bring up third down and a long 2.
This is a very aggressive defense that the Seminoles are playing here today. And one of their key players is not here. Tony Okonawan, their leading interceptor and third interceptor in the nation. He had 5 interceptions, is not here. Had a concussion last week, and they left him back in Maryland.
So there's the guy that starts for him, Bernard Wilson.
And the first 2 passes of the game were over to his side of the field.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Huh? Third down 2. And the Noles will work from the gun. Their opening drive at their own 49-yard line. Here comes that delayed blitz. Ricks fires. Nobody home. Whaley's the guy that came with the delayed pressure. And Florida State had something going there early, but now it's fourth down.
Well, this defense is very aggressive. They're a 3-man line. Their weakness is their defensive line, so they send a lot of blitzers. They send a lot of people. It's a good thing he overthrew that, because that one would have been picked off.
That's been the tendency of Ricks, Bob, is to sail passes, and you're right. If he hadn't sailed that one, that thing would have been picked off. Walt need a punt. Chance lays up a high boomer. And can they get it inside the 5? I don't know. Did they get there?
Nice play.
Great play.
Yes.
Nope, they're going to say touchback.
I don't know. The deal is, if the ball breaks the plane, the player doesn't have to touch the line. If the ball breaks the plane of the goal line in college football, it's a... Yeah, that's a good call.
That's a good call.
Just the ball has to break the plane, not the player. These rules are different than the NFL.
Great individual effort, though, to get down there and almost down it at the 1-foot line. Instead, it's out to the 20. So Maryland's offense catches a little bit of an early break. And that's where they work. The most prolific offense, both total offense and scoring-wise in the ACC, works from its own 20-yard line. Perry, the single setback. They play fake it. Hill comes up throwing, and a short gain. Got a couple to his tight end, Jeff Dugan.
Short-armed it.
Sean Hill, quite a story in his own right. He was playing junior college ball in Kansas when Maryland went looking for a cornerback and found a quarterback instead. And there's his numbers this year, and he's been getting better the last couple of weeks especially. Ever since he engineered the comeback win over Georgia Tech in overtime, he's been on a tear. 3 wide receivers for him on a 2nd down and 8. Option. And a pitch to Perry. What a collision at the 25 that was. Abdul Howard made the stop. Offensively, here's the guys up front. Brooks and Wyke. Fowler, the best of that group with the most experience as well. Bryant and Crawford round out the front wall. The backs and receivers, Bruce Perry closing in on 1,000 yards already. Lynch is the fullback. Gary and Williams the wideouts, and Jeff Dugan is the tight end. They didn't even know who their tailback would be this year, and they found this guy.
Oh, boy. And this is Ralph Friedgen's offense. There's a lot of gimmicks, and he says there's nothing holding back. We're going after these guys. We're gonna fire our bullets. We're gonna take our shots.
Here's one of them coming up. 3rd and 3. Got a man open. He's got a first down. Out to the 37-yard line. Got it out to Lynch, his big fullback. And a pickup of 11. Defensively, Alonzo Jackson is back from injury. That'll help the front wall of Florida State. Dockett, Womble, and Emmanuel round out the front 4. The linebackers getting better all the time. Pope, Jennings, and Boulware, all big playmakers. The secondary for Florida State with Samuels and Brown on the corners. Abdul Howard and Chris Hope, one of the defensive captains, are the safeties. the 44-yard line. Is it?
Yep.
And they're unpiling bodies.
Second down.
Second down.
Here's a look at the offensive line. Fowler, number 67, the center, is an outstanding player. Nice hole in there. The ball did come loose right there. You can see it, and he got it back. That was a fortunate break.
Sure.
Perry just fell back on it.
Was it ever? Second down and 4 now. Just inside the 44. Hill, straight drop. Got a man in the flat, and Perry wide open. And he's got a first down across midfield.
Like the offense. I like the play calls. Throw into the back, look downfield. Perry has caught 11 passes in the last 2 games. This is something Friedgen did at Georgia Tech when he was down there. He does it all, everywhere he goes. Looks downfield, comes off to the back, and let your best back. I mean, this guy's almost got 1,000 yards rushing. Get him out in space and give him the ball.
There's Ralph, an assistant at Maryland under Bobby Ross, before going with him to the San Diego Chargers. Movement on the left side of the line, it appeared, although I don't see a flag. There it is, way over on the far side. Dugan, I think, jumped. Jennings hammered the quarterback. You talk about Ralph Friedgen and, you know, George O'Leary and his staff's down in Atlanta watching this game. They got the weekend off, and it's, I don't know if it's a carbon copy, but it's pretty darn close.
Yes, it is. And we're talking to Mickey Andrews, defensive coordinator. They went back and looked at some of the games that they played against Georgia Tech to find out how he approached Florida State defensively when he was there.
So the penalty backs it up just inside the 46-yard line.
And it's still first down because it was a pre-snap play. Illegal movement, just there was no play.
3 wideouts. A straight drop, but it's Perry again. He's got blockers in front. Little quick screen and down to the 45-yard line. So he got the penalty plus 4 back. A pickup of 9. Perry so dangerous out of the backfield as a receiver. 27 catches now in the year.
2 offensive linemen are going to slide out to the right, Crawford and Bryant. This is just good stuff. This is giving yourself an opportunity to make a play. You got your 2 offensive linemen. You throw it to your little scat back out in broken field. Now I feel good about getting some yardage when I got that situation.
You saw Perry's numbers. You can add 2 more receptions to that already here in this first quarter. Option keeper Hill. Pope drops him. Kendall Pope with a tackle. That'll bring up 3rd down.
That's the second option that Ralph Friedgen has called in like the first 7 or 8 plays, and he wants to make sure that Mickey Andrews and defensively Florida State has to keep in mind that we're going to run that option, and that forces the defense to really get out of man coverage and play a lot of zone coverage. It limits what the defense can do.
And it drives defensive coordinators crazy just having to get ready for it.
That's all they talk about.
3rd down, 6 at the Seminoles 45. Hill got some pressure and got hammered from behind as he let go of the ball. That's something Florida State hasn't been able to bring because that guy's been hurt.
Yes.
Now he's back.
They're second last in the conference in sacking the quarterback. They only have 9 quarterback sacks on the year. Jackson's going to come from the other side. Hits the quarterback as he's throwing it, but this is something that Florida State needs to do, be able to protect for the passer.
Running situation. Bernard to kick. Kind of floated off the side of his foot, but it's going to end up being pretty darn effective. It's going all the way down inside the 5. Perfect kick. Nice coverage. 43-yarder and drops Florida State down offensively to its own 3-yard line. That's where we'll see the Seminoles when we come back.
Look, I know Circuit City's doing this expo thing, but we're busy. Get what you need, we're out of here. Agreed?
Yes.
Kevin!
We know how you feel. It's Expo 2001. 30 days of non-stop demonstrations of what's hot and what's next in electronics. September 30th through October 31st. Circuit City, we're with you.
This is Silverado Heavy Duty. The most powerful heavy-duty pickup you can get. Silverado Heavy Duty. More truck from Chevy.
Have you ever spied on anyone?
The bomb we're looking for, it's inside of him.
Alias, Sunday at 9/8 Central on ABC.
The Titans unleash the freak, but the Steelers plan to ride the bus. Titans, Steelers, Monday Night Football at 9, 6 Pacific on ABC.
Second possession for Chris Ricks. Bobby Bowden talked with us about why he wasn't going to change quarterbacks early.
I didn't feel like after the 6th ball game against an undefeated team, this is the time to go out and try somebody out. Let's see if he can do it. I don't want to do that. Let's start Ricks and let him play. If he makes a mistake, am I going to jerk him? No. If he makes a couple, am I going to jerk him? No. But if he's struggling, gone a quarter and a half, we're not getting anything done, then we come there with the other guy.
And that makes sense. You know, it just makes good sense.
There's the other guy.
Yeah, and they, you know, they're both young. One has started 6 games as a redshirt freshman. That's Ricks, and McPherson is trying to find his way around campus.
He won't even turn 19 until May. That's how young he is. 2nd and 10 from the 3.
Here they come.
The handoffs to Jones, and he might have gotten a yard. That's about it. And Maryland doesn't give up much on the ground either. They're tops in the conference and 15th in the country, giving up about 100 yards a game.
The other thing about playing a young quarterback against this defense is very difficult for a young guy. It's very disruptive. It's confusing.
Comes
it's
from
linebacker.
all over.
Yeah, they got 3 linemen. They use 4 and 5 and 6 defensive backs. You got to know who you can block and who you can't block. Difficult defense.
And that's Chris Ricks from the shotgun in his own end zone. On a 3rd down and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Trying to bust outside. Well, not a bad job by William McRae. The fullback got about 6. He at least got him some room to kick it.
And I think it's a good call. A young quarterback early in the game. Again, we've said that a quarterback, Ricks, is prone to throw interceptions. This defense leads the country in taking the ball away in turnovers. So punting at this stage of the game is not a bad thing.
We saw that in the Oklahoma-Nebraska game that preceded us. Field position was key throughout, and then you get one big play, and that can be the difference. And there's that turnover margin that Bob was talking about. Walton out a punt from his own end zone. High kick, but fair caught at the 50-yard line. Great field position now, so Maryland wins the exchange of field possession. In this case, they'll have it at midfield on offense when we come back. No score.
Hey, you want to switch? Sure.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that switches from an SUV to a pickup.
Good idea.
Chevy Avalanche. Like a rock.
Witness the power of one. The one has spectacular action and dazzling visual effects. High octane. It delivers bone-crushing action and a mind-blowing sci-fi plot.
There's never been anything like what I have become.
The One. Rated PG-13. The Chase is on. Opens Friday.
Oh, hello. Have you heard about 1-800-MEDICARE? Yes, you have, because I just told you. Must be broken. You can find out what Medicare covers. Get information on staying healthy. Whoops. They'll even tell you what Medigap is, which is important to those who have a gap in their Medi. The bottom line is, for healthcare questions, turn to the experts at Medicare.
1-800-Medicare, helping you help yourself.
Maryland has brought some people to Tallahassee. And last week, in their victory at home at Byrd Stadium, I don't know, be careful what you ask for. Facetiously doing the tomahawk chop in preparation for this game, and now here they are on the road where Florida State has never lost to a conference opponent.
It's been a long time since they lost 2 in a row here at home. The last game they lost to Miami.
We saw that one. Now Maryland, good field position right at the 50. Play action. Hill fires over the head of his intended receiver.
Had what he wanted there. Florida State snuck the safety up. They had 8 in the box to stop the run. He had single coverage on the outside. The receiver's going to get open for him. That's Gary. Jillian Gary comes in, goes straight up on Samuels, now breaks back out. Now this may not have been the way it was exactly in practice, but a quarterback has to see and adjust in ball games. He was open enough to get him the ball.
3 wideouts out there right now on 2nd and 10. Going to go with a draw play to Perry. Nope, that's Riley, not Perry. And Riley got 5. Beginning of the season, they were looking for a tailback to take Lamont Jordan's place, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. They said, would it be Riley? Would it be Perry? Would it be a freshman? And that's when Perry came to the forefront. And Riley now spells him, and those two exchange in the backfield. Perry comes back in at the tail. As Bob said, came into this one 51 yards shy of 1,000.
Led the nation in rushing for a few weeks early in the season.
They got the freshman Parson out there as a 3rd wide receiver as Hill drops, gets some heat again, and now he takes off with it. And good open field tackle to prevent a first down. Malcolm Tatum came up there. He'd been banged up. The Florida State secondary, they got a lot of fingers, not many thumbs. Everybody back there's got a broken thumb, and Tatum had one earlier.
Yeah, he did. This is a nice job, offensive line, giving him some time to throw. He had 5 guys out, and nobody could get open, and Tatum comes up and puts him down.
Here comes the punting unit for Maryland. I wonder if Ralph would pull a trick here on 4th down and yard.
If he had one, this would be a good place for it, because you're on the other side of the 50-yard line.
Well, they'll snap it to the punter. Bernard will kick it. Trying to do what he did last time when he dropped it at the 3. This time a little too much on it, and it goes in the end zone. So again, field position has been the story early. With 6:43 remaining, Florida State will take over at the 20-yard line. Next Saturday, ABC Sports back with more college football action, 3:30 Eastern. Some of you will see the Seminoles against Clemson. We'll be at that one. Other regional action, Oregon State, USC, and either Michigan, Michigan State, or Illinois and Purdue. So Ricks comes out, 3rd series, a little more room to work here this time. Chris said the fact that he shared duty with the #1 team with Adrian McPherson this week didn't bother his preparation at all. Here's a toss. They'll try to run. Nick Maddox trying to cut back, looking for a block. Needs one more and got it. Now he's going the other way. And Maddox got the corner. How about that run? That thing looked like a 5-yard loss. It became a 21-yard gain.
He did that all on his own. He just ran to the left, and by doing it to the left side of the field, he just brings, he's going to come this way, but all the defensive players are going to come that way also. And when he comes back, he's faster than the rest of the defense that are all the way on the other side.
Watch his quarterback get a block for him.
Yeah. Now look at this. Now there's no white shirts on this side of the field, and he's got the speed. He got one white shirt. He's going to run around him.
I love that quarterback throwing a block like that.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Play action. Ricks now, plenty of time. Steps up and airs it long for Walker. Oh, that's interference.
They were fighting.
Randall Jones back there with Javon Walker, and the flags fly at the 5.
Yeah, there was some pushing and shoving. This is one thing that Ricks does have is a gun for an arm.
He threw that a long ways.
He can throw it a long way. But it'll be a 15-yard penalty from the spot of the previous spot.
So that's going to put it into Maryland territory slightly.
Sometimes I like this rule, and sometimes I don't. Here you go. Here's the right there. Oh, he mugged him.
Yeah, it's a mugging. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I like this call in the pros, and sometimes I like it in the college. The interference call down the field.
Better to interfere than give up a 65-yard touchdown, which is what that might have been. But
yeah, but if that would have been a touchdown and you were a Florida State fan, you would have said, hey, let's get the ball down there on the 5-yard line.
That's exactly right. O'Campbell Stadium with Florida State now in Maryland territory for the first time at the 44. And Maddox cuts out inside the 40 to the 39. Give Nick 5 more. 6:14 left first quarter here. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York.
Brad, time for the Burger King update. UCLA, you know what a job their defense has done this year. This lateral intended for Brian Allen. It is a lateral, so a live ball. Ryan Neese picks it up and goes 39 yards for the touchdown. The Bruins lead 7-0. 6:41 left in the first quarter.
Ryan Neese, big play, bigger than his daddy, too. Physically, that is. Ricks lofts one out. Tight end. Down the sideline is Carver Donaldson. And he's got a first down. Pickup of 11. Using that tight end a little bit here early.
They don't use the tight ends a lot. That's the blitz. Comes inside. Joe 32 is one of the linebackers inside. This is a nice read, and I like the calmness of the quarterback. He saw the linebackers coming. He saw the blitz, and he said, aha, I can handle this because I got a quick man to throw the ball to away from all the traffic.
Chris is 3 out of 5 throwing the ball. 5:38 left first quarter, no score. Florida State, though, on the march here. They're the first down at the 28 of Maryland. Here comes the house on the blitz. Florida State picks it up, rips it. Incomplete. Atruz Bell laid out and couldn't hold it.
Atruz Bell was a big-time part of this offense last year. He caught 10 touchdown passes. This year he hasn't caught any.
And I think part of that, Bob, is the fact that he has the pressure of being the go-to guy. As you see him right here, a perfect opportunity to catch. I think he would have made last year, but here in 2001, he's come up short on making big plays for his offensive unit.
Yeah, Swanee, you made that point the other day, too, that when Snoop Minnis was here, that kind of freed Atruz Bell up to sneak around and get those touchdowns, and now that he's the man, he's dropped 2 already today, as a matter of fact. Nice play fake on a bootleg. Ricks has good wheels, and he'll run it here. Oh, he paid the price for it.
Yeah, I don't like to see any quarterback taking all that punishment. When you get outside and the party's over, you see he wants help, and the lineman's saying he's not coherent. Come on, help. I don't like to see when you get outside as a quarterback and you can't get any further, just get down. Don't take the punishment.
The last hit in the helmet's one that's going to hurt right there.
Yeah. They took a good one on the second hit there, too. But
Henderson got the lick in, and Ricks is a little woozy. So Adrian McPherson, we knew we'd see him at some point. We didn't know it would be for this reason. And Jeff Bowden, the offensive coordinator, giving him final instructions. Not that you want to come in on a 3rd and 7, but Swanee said we'd see them both, and here we do in the first quarter with 5 minutes left. AD.
He has not gotten in many games this early in the contest. Here they come.
They loaded up to bring the heat, and he isn't going to get away.
Yep.
You knew Maryland was smelling that, and they come up with a sack. Mike Whaley probably just took him out of field goal range, too.
So Whaley is one of the guys. Here's a linebacker. He just got a blitz to the inside. And McPherson turned away from him, probably didn't even see him. But that's the history of this defense. That's why it's tough for a young, whether it's Ricks or whether McPherson, to play against this blitzing style defense.
It's like Chris maybe got a cut on the chin, too. They were dabbing something there, and it's a punting situation for Gwaltney now.
Is it a punting situation from the 31-yard line?
Well, they don't trust the field goal kicker again. That's the same problem they've had for quite a while.
Yeah. And they don't want to go for it.
Bobby's on the headset.
It was 4th down and 13.
Xavier Bethia is their freshman place kicker, and he's had trouble. Actually, probably better from long range than he is kicking extra points. Anyway, they'll kick it here. And Gwaltney again got just a little bit too much of it. And a few boo birds out at Doak Campbell Stadium. That's something you normally hear.
Well, they haven't seen Florida State do that very often, punting from their own inside their own 35-yard line. This offense usually good enough to go for it.
As a touchdown boogie coordinator, I'm called upon to be a miracle worker. Like this one kid, Nebraska. This guy is rhythmless.
What do you think you're doing?
So, I worked on him, broke him down.
That's a chicken, but it's not funky.
Build him back up until the moment that I saw him out there, I was proud like a father. When a father sees his little boy grow up and become a ballet dancer.
Bud Light celebrates those who like to celebrate.
I'd heard stories, but I had to see it with my own eyes.
I can't send it to you till I get to the hotel tonight.
Can't get information to your coworkers, so you're to blame.
Yeah, how did you know?
May I? You need the Sprint PCS Clear Wireless Workplace. The most advanced wireless package customized for your company. On the only all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network built from the ground up. It'll clear up that forehead thing.
Thanks.
Excuse me, ma'am. Duty calls.
Tonight, something scary, spooky, supernatural. It's the Halloween edition of America's Funniest Home Videos tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Final round coverage of the Buick Challenge tomorrow at 3 noon Pacific on ABC.
Halloween Wednesday. Damon is frightened by guest star Lou Rawls.
And then no one else.
A scary new My Wife and Kids. Then new hit comedy, According to Jim.
Trick or treat.
It's terrifying. Hey, come on, kid. I said terrifying. Ooh, it's so funny.
It's spooky.
ABC Wednesday, starting at 8/7 Central.
There's Chris Ricks on the sideline, an ice bag on the back of his neck right now as he's talking upstairs.
It looks like he plans on being back. I don't think he'd be talking with upstairs if he was out.
That's a good point. So Maryland will work from the 20 again. 5 possessions we've had so far and 5 punts. This time they go with the fullback, as again we see a little bit of the option, and Lynch goes ahead for a couple. Bradley Jennings made the stop. Ralph Friedgen, first year as a head coach at Maryland, but he was a player at Maryland. They say he came in as a 190-pound quarterback. I don't know if I buy that. He became an offensive lineman for the Terrapins, however, and then worked as an assistant under Bobby Ross at Maryland, part of a really excellent staff. And then with George O'Leary at Georgia Tech, and now the head man of the Terrapins. And they are happy to have him.
Well, I tell you, he thinks like a quarterback and runs an offense like a quarterback.
That 190-pound quarterback, though, that's about 160 pounds ago, I think.
Well, that was in high school.
Yeah, that's true. Hill going to throw a deep fade on the near side. Stretching out, incomplete is Scooter Monroe. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, Brad, Chris Ricks has a cut on his chin. You see the ice bag is still on the back of his neck, and he plans on going back in according to their trainer, Randy Ovitz. But what they want is Adrian McPherson to warm up just in case they decide he should not go back into the ballgame.
I think Chris Ricks has played well so far, not made any mistakes, and that's the key thing on an aggressive defense like Maryland's.
3rd down and 7 here for the Maryland quarterback, Sean Hill. Missed his last 3 passes. He might not get a chance for this one. He's going to have to run it. I think he got the 1st down.
Yeah, he got past the 30-yard line.
That's all he needed.
That's it.
He got 8 on 3rd and 7. Last week he had over 100 yards rushing, and he's really kind of deceptively quick. He's a big guy, but he's about a 4.65 type of runner.
Yes.
And here he picks up the needed yardage for the 1st down.
You know, it's a deadly combination. He can throw the ball in a good passing scheme, and he also can run the option. Anytime you can run an option and drop back pass, then you get the defense nightmares.
He's tough as an old pair of boots. There's what he did last week. From the 31, 1st down, he'll work from the gun. Give it off inside. Riley took a big pop after he got about 3. Kevin Emanuel's on the bottom of that pile, along with Bradley Jennings, the linebacker. We want to congratulate Joe Paterno. I know Joe's not watching this game right now. He's probably a little bit busy, and Sue's probably making pasta and lasagna all over the place. But Joe Paterno, the old Lion, just passed the grizzled old bear today. So we want to congratulate our old friend Joe Paterno. Back-to-back victories now, and he's alone on top of the heap The all-time Division 1A coaching wins. Bobby Bowden, if he can win this one today, will move into the number 3 spot in front of Glenn Pop Warner.
And we know it's been a long time coming for Joe, but it was very sweet.
Yep.
I'm proud of him. Jennings comes off the field. Looks like he's got an ankle or something.
He was in on that stop. One of the leaders, one of the captains of the defense. 2nd down and 6 now for Maryland. Just inside its own 35-yard line. And they've got the freshman in there that works from a slot. And the option straight ahead is the fullback, and he's gone.
There's the option.
Lynch straight ahead. The big fella's going to rumble for a touchdown. 65 yards, a career high, and James Lynch was pulling all 261 pounds as fast as he could go. That's why the option drives you crazy. You start worrying about those little scat backs, and here comes the big guy.
Well, here's a scat back, and here's a halfback here, but the fullback is right here in the middle, and he's just going to come straight up the gut. The option goes to the fullback. Everybody runs by him. This guy runs by him. Those 2 guys have run by him.
By the time they knew he had it, it was too late. Extra point by Novak is good. And Maryland jumps out on top.
This is a formation right here. These guys run by him. This is a formation that they have shown, and they run the option one way or the other. Now they come out the first time they show the formation. The fullback gets it and goes all the way.
And you could see Abdul Howard didn't even know that Lynch had this ball. He ran right by him.
Yeah. He was running over to help on the outside. It's a good offensive scheme that carries out the fake. Fullback up the middle.
And Bob and Brad, that's one of the things about the option I have found that most quarterbacks really miss the picture on in terms of leaving that ball in there. You see a lot of quarterbacks who don't want to ride with that fullback as they come to the line of scrimmage and then pull it out the last minute. And that time, Hill just left that ball in all the way he's been doing it most of this ball game, so no one could see the fact that he was going to leave it there and not take it out.
Normally the fullbacks get that little bit of sugar spread on them from about the 3-yard line, and last week Lynch had his first career touchdown. This one's even sweeter.
James Lynch is not a big part of this offense insofar as catching the ball and running the ball. He's a big part of the blocking and all that other stuff. But here, Ralph Friedgen, the offense says we got to do something that we haven't shown. So we're going to give it to the fullback and first big touchdown of the game.
You know one thing, James can carry that weight.
He's a fire plug. Looks like a 5'11", about 260?
Yeah, a little over 260. And Mickey Andrews not happy, the defensive coordinator for Florida State. And he says, you know, you can talk assignment football all you want against the option, but you still got to tackle people. They didn't tackle James Lynch. Thorpe takes it 5 yards deep, backpedals and takes a knee, and they'll work from the 20-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular. And new Nivea for men aftershave balm, or evolved skincare. From the capital of the state of Florida, Tallahassee, we welcome you, along with our ABC crew, Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan with you. And Florida State, never having lost at home in conference play, is down a touchdown with a minute 34 to go in the first quarter. Jones out to about the 29. Marlon Moyer-Moore made the tackle.
Go back to the touchdown. That's Gerald Hudson. He's the middle linebacker. He was in there for Jennings, who was out on the last play. Gerald Hudson is 6'3" and 277 pounds. Now they had size to stop Lynch. He just didn't find him.
That's right, wrong spot. 2nd down a yard. And McPherson gives off to Jones again. And Greg Jones, who had over 100 yards rushing last week, gets 4 more and gets a first down. He's the power of the two. Maddox is kind of a jitterbug type of runner that sometimes makes cuts he doesn't have to make. Yep. Jones doesn't worry about it. He just plows straight ahead.
Yeah, and they've fared just about equally through the first 6 games.
I don't want to say it's windy at Doak Campbell today, but all our stuff in the booth's flying.
Yeah, it's gusty. The flags are just standing out straight out.
We could just have a strong enough wind to blow our stat man out of here. We'd have something. Actually, Pat's trying to help me over here. Keep things planted. Jones running right and going down for a loss. Charles Hill got over there to make the stop. And -2 on that carry for Jones. There's Charles Hill, a senior out of Palmer Park, Maryland. They got a lot of Maryland players starting on this team, as you might guess.
I think 9 of the 11 on defense are from Maryland.
The only guy on the Florida State team from Maryland is their defensive tackle, Dockett. And Chris Ricks is warming up. So apparently he's all right and will be ready to come back in when needed. End of the first quarter, though. Undefeated Maryland on top 7-0. ABC Sports presentation of college football continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Hello? Hello?
The power of cheese.
Change for $1.
Sure. Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that changes from an SUV to a pickup.
Thanks.
Chevy Avalanche. Like a rock.
Call Domino's now and get a free order of our delicious cheesy bread when you purchase any large one-topping pizza for $9.99. Who would come up with such a brilliant idea?
My idea. All mine.
Make it a meal with wings and a 2-liter Coke. Get the door. It's Domino's.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea Aftershave Balm. More evolved skincare.
Toyota engineers have always been recognized for their outstanding achievements. And over the years, they've won countless awards for their innovations. Well, now it's the accounting department's turn in the spotlight. Introducing 0.0% APR financing, or $1,000 cash back on every new 2002 Toyota 4Runner, Tundra, or Corolla CE. At your Toyota dealer. Get the feeling. Toyota.
This is ABC News Channel 27.
That's something Florida State hopes to lean on in the second quarter as they're down 7 to open the second stanza. 94-14 they've outscored their opponents in the second quarter.
And they have not played well in the third quarter. Bobby Bowden was telling us yesterday. They hope to improve on that today, but this has been their quarter.
Adrian McPherson, the freshman, remains in at quarterback as you saw Chris Ricks on the sideline. And a second down at 12. Greg Jones behind him and a 2 tight end set for the Noles. McPherson play fake, comes up throwing high, but caught. Nice grab out there. That's good to see. It's a true spell. He dropped a couple and he picks up 13 on the first down.
And he just did his quarterback a big favor because that ball was high and wide. Single coverage on the outside. He makes the break, should throw it outside toward the sideline. He throws it upfield and high. And he made a nice catch, but he took the punishment for it too. And as you say, nice catch for 8 trues. He's dropped a couple.
Former walk-on in '97. And now one of the captains. That's a great success story. Kind of a rags to riches deal. From the 44, McPherson in trouble, and down he goes. That's the second sack of the day, and it's Charles Hill again, the nose tackle. Hill's having a good first half.
This is a defensive line, as we said, that just kind of takes up blockers and lets the linebackers get most of the glory. This is only Hill's second sack of the year. He knows his spot.
He didn't play football until he was a junior in high school. Hill was a basketball player.
There's Gary Blackney. He does a great job. with this scheme and this defense.
Referred to Ralph Region by George O'Leary. Ralph's old boss at Georgia Tech. Greg Jones, the carry. Florida State has done a pretty good job running the football. 6-yard pickup for number 6. George O'Leary told Ralph Region, he said, the best secondary coach in the country, Gary Black, they get him as your defensive coordinator. The problem was they go to Georgia Tech, they beat him, and George said, if I'd have thought he was going to be that good, I would have never referred him.
That's right. That's right.
3rd down and 11.
He is intense, and that's the way his defense plays. Boy, they'll get after you. They disrupt and confuse and attack.
They'll be attacking McPherson here in the shotgun on a 3rd down and 11. They're loading up. Look at all the white shirts. Here they come. Screen pass thrown high. That could have been very dangerous. And in the meantime, Nick Maddox almost got his head taken off as his quarterback floated one out there.
Riddles, number 33, saw it coming all the way. Riddles is the backup safety and the dime back. That's the 6th back on that coverage. He saw the screen pass. He saw the little loop. Boy, I tell you, that's the way to get your...
Nothing little about that hit.
See, that's inexperience at the quarterback position, because a quarterback shouldn't do that to a receiver on a screen like that.
I would think Chris Ricks would be out the next time with the offense for Florida State. And Gwaltney's got a punt. All the possessions have ended in punts. Gwaltney to kick. He's going to throw. Got a man open, but he overshot it. So they run a fake punt on 4th and 11. He had a man clear, but he overshot Patrick Newton. Well, Bobby pulled one out of his bag of tricks, but it backfired.
Yeah, and you have to do it when it's not expected either. They're trying to get it to this man right here. They're going to snap it deep. And right here, he slips right there. It's not an easy throw. He throws it upfield instead of the receiver was going across field, and he throws it upfield.
Patrick Newton, the backup defensive back's the guy they tried to sneak out there.
Now, see, that's a tough throw. You can't see, especially for a punter.
Yeah.
You can't see over the line, and you don't know how deep, how far down the field to go.
At the 42, the option. Chad Killian on the carry. 12:57 left in the half. Maryland by 7. And our Dodge Drive summary. Maryland's had it 3 times. They got 1 touchdown, and it was their big fullback, 65 yards off the lead option. And that's the only score of the ballgame.
Now, Florida State's had it 4 times, and they've punted 3 of those 4. Then they just did that fake punt, which gave great field position for Maryland.
And it puts some pressure on the Noles defense, because Maryland's in their territory with a 2nd and 9, and they come with a blitz. Jennings and Boulware were both coming, and Hill got the pass off complete.
That's just a great play there.
Julian Gary might be a little bit short of the 1st down, but what looked like it could have been a catastrophe for the quarterback, bought himself some time and threw it out there.
Well, here's a look on the outside, the recovery, the receiver coming down, running an outside. That's a good job by the receiver to place himself between the defensive back and the ball, so the defensive back can't get it. The quarterback, nice job of getting rid of him.
And straight ahead on the quarterback sneak. Looks like a 1st down for Hill. Penn State, there's that victory over Ohio State. So back-to-back wins, and Joe Paterno, the Lion, passes the Bear. Miami Thursday night looked pretty good again.
You know, Joe's glad to get those 2 wins and get back to some kind of normalcy where people aren't saying, well, you tie or you go to, next one, you are winning us all the time. Now they're going to be talking about Bobby.
Yep. How shook up are the BCS rankings going to be with Virginia Tech and Oklahoma both losing today. On the option. And again, they go with the lead guy, and Killian fighting for yardage. Junior from Pittsburgh doesn't play all that much, got 6 yards.
Killian, the backup fullback, and for anybody that knows anything about an option, the first thing if you're going to run an option is you got to establish the inside, the fullback inside, and defensively, that's the first thing you got to stop an option.
And they have done that with the fullbacks today. One a 260-pounder, and that guy about 248. 2nd down and 4. Maryland driving into Florida State territory again. Another option. They just are going to tell Florida State, until you stop our fullback, you're going to get a mouthful of him.
Yep.
And Lynch again. Boulware made the stop.
Brad and Bob, I think one of the reasons they're able to run so well and effectively inside is because of their big center, number 67, Melvin Fowler Jr. at 6'3", 297. And this guy is one of the great leaders. He is the only senior on that offensive line. They look to him for leadership. He makes all the calls, and the coaches say, we don't worry about whether or not Fowler gets his block. We can always rely on him.
He's a good one. Third down and a yard. Tight end will move. And now set up in a 2 tight end formation. And Hill, this is a keeper all the way for him. And the quarterback's into the secondary. And he's got a first down near the 11-yard line. Abdul Howard ran him out of bounds. But Big Sean Hill, a 220-pound senior out of Parsons, Kansas, has got a first down.
I don't think the people in Parsons, Kansas aren't proud of this young man.
All 12,000 of them.
Yeah, 12,000 people. They're probably watching right now. Little option down the line. The quarterback keeps it for the first down. How important was it for Maryland to come in here and score the first touchdown on that option a little while ago?
There's their red zone efficiency. And they're in it just outside the 11. They can get a first down inside the Florida State 2. Here's a long stretch handoff. And Riley got about 4. Chris Hope made another tackle from the secondary. Penalty marker on the play. So this drives 3 more minutes, and again, it's after the fake punt, and this penalty is going to go against Maryland.
It's unusual that this is the 3rd penalty against Maryland. Florida State's only been flagged 1 time for 5 yards. Florida State annually the most penalized.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards. Replay first down.
Is that the first penalty against Maryland?
That's the 3rd.
3rd penalty against Maryland.
3rd. Now they've got 35 yards in penalties, and Florida State only has 5 yards on 1 penalty.
So first down at 20, back at the 21. 4 receiver grouping for Hill. Fires, got it complete at about the 15 and lost some yardage after the catch. Jafar Williams. Bradley Jennings, who's back out there, linebacker, made the stop.
Williams just let the receivers, the inside receivers, go deep, and he was running a crossing route. Jennings made a nice play recognizing it and making the tackle.
Another penalty against Maryland. And I think Florida State is going to take this because they want to back them out as far as they can and take them out of field goal range if they can hold for a couple of downs.
Illegal formation. Not enough men on the offensive line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Will replay the down.
Ralph will let you know about where you lined up and where you didn't line up.
He's pretty upset. From the get-go, it was discipline and organization and accountability, and he doesn't tolerate much of this stuff.
Perry in motion, option, play fake. Hill in trouble. Got rid of it, and he got it complete. He took a pasting, and then so did the wide receiver. That was Rich Parson, the freshman, that made the catch.
The thing that Hill does is just keeps it alive. It was a busted play. It was damage in the backfield, and he reversed his field, avoided the sack, and just gets rid of it.
There's Parson, 22. They really like him. Came in as a tailback, but they use him as a slot man and a receiver. And he made a tough catch and took a big shot from Stanford Samuels. Got 5 yards back. Still second down and 20. Florida State fans trying to come up to life for their defense here. Here's a screen out to Williams. That didn't get much either. Maybe a yard.
Yeah, that was the old wide receiver screen.
Late flag. Let's see if we're going to have a personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct over there. There was a little action going on away from the ball, and it's on Florida State.
That was Donnell Dockett, Brad. He was over there talking to one of the players, getting right in his face, had his back to the official. The official saw what was going on. It's been going on for most of the ball game, and that time he got the flag.
Darnell is the only Maryland native on the Florida State team out of Burtonsville, which is about 10 miles from the Maryland campus, and he's maybe woofing a little bit down there with some guys from Maryland, and he got caught, and he's coming out.
Yep.
That's what happens. And an automatic first down.
Now
that's huge.
That is huge. Had him backed up. Second, third and long. And commit a foul that gives him a first down.
Just inside the 11-yard line. To get a first down, they'd almost have to get a touchdown. But here they are, knocking on the door again, leading by 7 with 8:20 left in the quarter. Harry. Boy, Bradley Jennings, since he came back out, has been involved in about 80% of the tackles. He normally is, but he's having quite a quarter here, number 44.
This is just going to be a running play up inside. Let's go ahead and run it. Corners are single coverage on the outside. If you want to throw the football, you can get it into the end zone.
They'll stay at an I backfield on second down and 8. Now the option. Gillian got popped 2 or 3 times for his efforts. Got a yard, maybe 2. And that's going to bring up third down.
Florida State defensively is not off that much from last year's numbers. They've got a lot of young guys, as you see another one of their. Who's that? Emmanuel, number 90. They had a lot of injuries coming into the ball game, and now they're starting to get some more during this game.
Just when they had started to get their defensive line back healthy, they got one going down there with 7:24. We'll check on Kevin Emmanuel when we come back.
Some guys take their car's performance a little more seriously than others. That's why they turn to Valvoline SynPower. Synthetic oils, additives, and cleaners.
Choose road. Validating tires.
BF Goodrich tires with traction advantage.
Approved.
For control you can feel. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Florida State Clemson. More other regional action next Saturday on ABC.
Time for our Aflac trivia question this week. Name the 4 Atlantic Coast Conference teams that have won a national championship. You think it over, we'll give you the answer a little bit later on in the quarter. Third down. 11th play of the drive, 3rd and 6. Kevin Emmanuel was helped off the field. Looks like he's going to be okay. Florida State looking to come up with a big defensive stop here. Hill running out of time. Got rid of it. Completes it. Not in the end zone, and I don't know if it's a first down either. I said they had to get inside the 1 to get a first down. Kendall Pope holding on for dear life, and this might be one we have to measure. Either way, they're that far away from the goal line. That part we know.
Well, you were right. When they were first down back on the 11th, inside the 11-yard line, you said they could get it, but it'd almost be a touchdown. Looks downfield, and then he comes out to his outlet. This is Perry, the little swinging out of the backfield. That's going to be pretty close.
Woo, that close. That's 2 chain links. It's 4th down and 2 links.
These are calls that Ralph didn't have to make last year.
They're going to go for it. They're bringing out some extra beef.
I think it's a good call because if you don't make it, you still leave Florida State down there backed up in their own end zone.
They got 2 fullbacks out there, Fiddler and Lynch. Lynch is the big one. 260. He's got the only touchdown so far. He'll line up in the backfield with Riley. Remember, you got a 221-pound quarterback, too. 4th down, Inches. Hill. Did he make it? No signal from the officials.
How in the world can you find out where that ball is?
You got me. Ron Cherry's the referee. Everybody's in there. Florida State saying they held. And they did. Apparently, they put the ball down at about the 1-foot line. There's the ball.
That looks to me like it's going to be far enough to be a first down. I mean, they didn't have to get a touchdown.
That's true. That's true. The linesman's put it down.
Yeah.
You talk about an inexact science right now.
Well, you know what we're looking at from right here, this camera angle is the same angle that the line judge and the linesman on the other side of the field have. And when all those players come in and block their view, how do you know?
They got it.
Yeah.
They needed 2 lengths, and they got 2/3 of the football.
I mean, how can, you know, the guy that's got the best shot is the umpire, who's just to the left.
I actually think that was a pretty good spot because he almost got to the goal line. And I mean almost. You can see how close it is. It's inches short, and it's 1st and goal Maryland, leading by a touchdown. Same play here or not? Nope, option this time. Dangerous, but they get it to Riley, and he scores. 1-yard touchdown by Mark Riley, and Maryland's in front 13-0.
Maryland's has been very impressive. And this is exactly what Ralph Friedgen wanted. He says, we're not going down. We're not going to be hesitant. We're going to go down. We're going to play loose. We're going to go at them. We're going to take our shots with the option, and we're going to just try to get it in.
So Nick Novak will come in for the point after, as a backup tailback and a big old fullback have done the damage so far with the touchdowns. Novak for the point after. Up and good. And maybe no longer is Maryland a surprise. 6:16 left. That's a happy turtle. It's 14-0 Maryland.
For men, every morning it's the same routine. The desperate search for a way to relieve the pain after shaving.
Bye, babe.
There's a better way to soothe your skin. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm is an advanced blend of moisturizers and vitamins that soothe and actually improve your skin. Nivea Aftershave Balm. More evolved skincare.
Want to try that triple Lux?
What the heck? I got supplemental insurance.
What's that?
A Lutz?
No, that something insurance.
Even the best insurance doesn't give you cash for things like lost pay and other expenses. This does.
What does?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.